Okay, so this is kind of where we left off. We already went over this slide, but I want to go over it again, just because it can be confusing. So, negative reciprocals. We're getting ready to talk about negative reciprocals because we're going to talk about perpendicular lines. And perpendicular lines have opposite reciprocal slopes. So, I want to make sure we all know what those words mean: negative, opposite, reciprocal. All right. So when you hear the word opposite of a number, it means the negative of that number. So opposite and negative mean the same thing. So the opposite of negative 3/2 is positive 3/2. You just change the sign. That's it. That's the opposite. The negative of negative 3/2 is also positive 3/2. Just means change the sign. The reciprocal of negative 3/2 is negative 2/3. So when you see the word reciprocal, that means you flip the fraction upside down. You don't change the sign, you just flip it. So reciprocal of negative 3/2 is negative 2/3. It's still negative, right? Reciprocal doesn't tell you anything about the sign of the fraction. It just tells you to flip it upside down. So here's the problem. When you are talking about perpendicular lines, you are going to be talking about both of these things at the same time. You're going to be talking about negative reciprocals. So the negative reciprocal, which I prefer to say opposite reciprocal, and the reason is because when you see the word negative, you think that number is going to be negative, but it's not. It's just the opposite of whatever it is. If it's negative, it becomes positive. If it's positive, it becomes negative. So the opposite reciprocal of a number, in that case, when you see both of those words, opposite and reciprocal, that means flip it and change the sign. So the opposite reciprocal of negative 2/3 is positive 3/2. So we need to make sure that we are paying attention to the words so that we don't do things we're not supposed to do. So I made this table to fill in, and I don't think it's all that helpful, so we're just going to skip that and we'll move on to parallel and perpendicular lines. Now, we talked about parallel lines already. Parallel lines will have the same slope, and that is when you have y equals mx plus b for a line, that m is your slope, that b is your y-intercept, and when you have parallel lines like these two lines here, which have the same slope, you can see their slope. It's always going to be the coefficient of the x in your y equals mx plus b. It's the m. So when you have parallel lines, those are lines that will never cross. They will have the same exact slope. Now, perpendicular lines are lines that cross at a right angle. These are a different kind of situation here. Perpendicular lines intersect. Parallel lines do not. Perpendicular lines intersect at a right angle. The relationship between their slopes, if you look here, you've got y equals mx plus b. 2 is the slope. That's the coefficient on x. And you can see that the slope of the perpendicular line is the opposite reciprocal of the slope of the other line. So you flip it, 2/1 becomes 1/2, and you change the sign. Positive becomes negative. That's what you need to know about perpendicular lines and their slopes. They have opposite reciprocal slopes. So here we want to write the equation of a line that is perpendicular to y equals 2/5 x minus 3 and passes through the point 3, 2. All right, so we have this line, y equals mx plus b, where m is the slope, and it's 2/5, and b, the y-intercept, is -3. Now, what they're telling us, we're going to write the equation of a line that is perpendicular to that line. We don't care about the y-intercept. What we care about is the slope. This is what is going to give us information about the line we want to write the equation of. So we look at this line and it has a slope of 2/5. Since the line we are writing the equation of is perpendicular to this line, it is going to have opposite reciprocal slope. So since this slope is 2/5, the slope of the perpendicular line, I'll just put that just so you know what I'm talking about, is going to be the opposite reciprocal. So you take the negative opposite sign and flip it. So our line that we're trying to write the equation of has this as a slope. So our line is going to look like y equals -5/2 x plus b. Now, every line has this form, y equals mx plus b, where b is the y-intercept. All the information I got from this equation was just the slope. I didn't get the y-intercept from that. So I have to figure out what the y-intercept is, and that's why I need this point. That point is on this line. So that means that if you put in 2 for y and 3 for x in this equation, it will be true. So putting in 2 for y, and I'm putting in 3 for x. B, I still don't know. So I've got 2 is equal to -15/2 plus b. I'm going to move that -15/2 to the other side, so I'll have 2 plus 15/2 is equal to b. And then I'm going to get a common denominator, so 4 over 2, which is 2, plus 15/2 over 2 is going to be 19/2, and that is going to be b. So I know my m, -5/2. I know my b, 19/2, so I can write the equation of the line. Y equals m x plus b. That is the equation of the line that is perpendicular to y equals 2/5 x minus 3 and passes through the point 3, 2.